Hey everybody, how's it going? The chest guy here. Hope you're doing okay. Before I begin, I just want to give a huge thank you to someone very specific. I don't have a name that I can give you because they didn't really leave a pseudonym or even a real name. They left the name of their business, and I don't want to put them out there like that on the off chance that someone who lives around them that disagrees with our points of view ends up finding it and trying to trash their business. But they donated $25 to me via my PayPal account. Thank you very, very much for that, sir. I appreciate the hell out of that. If there's anything that I can do, maybe a video that you want me to do, on a specific topic, just let me know and I'll do my best to get on that as soon as I can. Um, this is going to be a Blue Pilled Chronicles video. As you can probably tell, it's going to be off rip. I consider myself very fortunate to have discovered the red pill when I did. I'm in my early 20s right now, and I discovered it when I was in my late teens. Um, so, for that reason, a lot of the videos that I do discussing, my personal experiences are going to be from the tweenage and teenage years. I think that this is particularly valuable because it really highlights just how early on the gender dynamic between boys and girls starts. So, this video is going to be coming from my eighth grade year. We're going to call the girl Sarah. And I ended up dating Sarah on the last day of my eighth grade year. I asked her out in the last week, and she said yes after thinking about it on the last day of the eighth grade. Now, Sarah was a very interesting young girl. I won't call her a bad person, but she was weird. She was one of those in your face types of people, but she was also extremely shy when it came to relationships. Um, Sarah had only dated one man before me, and he happened to be a closeted homosexual. So you can only imagine how well that turned out in the department of, kissing and other things like sex. Now, that made her extremely shy. She was very inexperienced. I had had my first kiss in the sixth grade. And she basically restricted it to pecks on the lips and the cheek. Now, this will be more pertinent, later on, but Sarah's friends were very, very, very in her business. They were always sitting there trying to trash me. They didn't like me. Some of them hated me from the get go. Some of them I had a love hate relationship with, and then some of them were just straight up like they were friends, but then they just straight up like flip flopped as soon as I started dating their friend. And I, at my young age, assumed that that's just the way it was and that's just the way it was supposed to be. And that as the man, I had to put up with that. Really, I didn't. It was all up to me. But her friends would always give me shit for no reason. They'd text me, they'd call me. Whenever we would hang out with all of them, they'd be in my grill about every little thing. And it made dating her very tumultuous. Excuse me. It was extremely painful, to have to sit there only getting pecks on the lips and cheek and sit and also have to take all of that shit on top of that. I felt like I had to be Mr. Perfect for pecks on the cheek and the lips. Now, I ended up breaking up with her, and she took it pretty well. She was pretty cool about it. We were in a group of mutual friends, so we would see each other after that. And we ended up getting back together and breaking up a couple more times. Now, once we got back together for the first time, her friends were just sitting there, trashing me even more. They had more ammunition now, sitting there. Oh, he already broke your heart once. He already broke your heart once. Why are you going to go back to him? He'll just do it again. Blah blah blah. And they were really the driving factor behind me breaking up with her, because it got to a point where I just could not deal with getting pecks on the lips and harassed by her friends. It just was not going to work out. Now, we end up just, doing the boyfriend girlfriend thing for a little bit. We never really progress, but eventually it's the end of the summer. We broke up and got back together once or twice after the first time, that is. And I end up going away for a week. I went to New York for a baseball tournament. Now, I'm texting who I thought was Sarah. Now, Sarah's friends had taken her phone that day. And eventually, after texting them for a little bit, we got into an argument. Now, during the argument, they end up texting me, "It's over." I think that Sarah just broke up with me. What they did then was turned around, deleted the messages, and then said, "Hey, the chest guy broke up with you, Sarah." So Sarah, of course, is just angry. I'm angry. And we end up getting back. Now, eventually, the truth is revealed. Sarah decides, you know what, no, we're not going to get back together again. Even though this breakup was my shitty friends, and really I am responsible for the bullshit that ended up happening, we will not get back together again. The reason for this was because her friends told her that that if she got back together with me, they would not be her friends anymore. I was disposable. I did not matter to her as much as her friends did. And the funny thing is, in about 2 to 3 months, she wouldn't even be talking to those friends anymore. She went to a different high school than all of them. And for this reason, she ended up stopping, her relationship with these people because, well, what's the point? They're at different high schools. Another thing that happened, and this is really where the whole, being a prude thing, for lack of a better term, comes into play. It's not a bad thing that she was so inexperienced at the age of, I believe it was 13. But what was bad was that one day we're all with our group of friends and we decide to play a game that concerns stripping down naked. And she ends up losing. And she just gets naked in front of me, in front of everyone. This is at a time where we were not dating. We were broken up. But she was afraid to even use tongue to kiss me. But when she was given the opportunity to be the center of attention, she showed her titties to everyone. Women will always go after what they want in that moment. And 9 times out of 10, it is attention and social acceptance. They do not care about holding up their morals. They do not care about that. As long as they have something to gain, morals are a non-issue. They can be discarded and picked back up at a moment's notice, because when we did decide that we were going to get back together after she showed everyone her titties, well, she wanted to go back to just pecking on the cheek and on the lips. No tongue, no nothing, wouldn't even let me feel her up. It it really frustrated me, the whole situation, and it was heartbreaking, and it made me feel like a piece of shit. I should have just walked away. I should have said, "Do you know what? If you want to have your friends up your ass and breathing down your boyfriend's neck constantly, that's your prerogative. That is completely up to you." But unfortunately, I was very young at that time, and I really didn't have the guidance that I needed. Fathers, and this is myself included if I do end up having a son, but fathers need to make sure that their kids are getting the right kind of guidance. Fathers need to warn their kids about the bullshit that can occur. And I know that if my father had basically sat me down and told me, look, these women, especially at this age, are going to play around with you. They don't have their sense of self yet. They're very immature, they're very inexperienced, and they don't even understand what they want yet. And truthfully, they probably will not know what they want until it's too late anyway. They'll hit the wall when they're 30 after a life of partying, and they won't be able to find that happiness. If my father had just sat me down and told me that, I'm sure that I would have had a much easier time. Um Really, it starts from an extremely young age, you know? A lot of kids probably won't even listen, but at the very least, we need to be willing to tell our sons, look, bitches are crazy. Be careful. Don't be knocking them up. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing the other thing. We need to be willing to get real with our kids, and our kids will appreciate us for that, whether it's right in that moment or whether it's 10 years down the road when they realize, oh shit, yeah, women are fucked up, aren't they? If i if i knew what I do know now back then, I would have just walked away as soon as I noticed bullshit, but I didn't, and here I am now. I got over Sarah. I did, but I never got over the heartbreak in general. I didn't get over the feelings that I had felt, and it made me a very bitter person, and it caused all of these different problems down the road, not only in my worldview, but also basically how I viewed myself. I always thought that that was the way things were just supposed to be, and that I, as the big, dumb, stupid male, dumb and stupid are the same thing, but I, as the male, had to put up with this stuff. I didn't. I could have just walked away. And we don't have to urge our sons to be Mgtow, per se. But I think we need to urge our sons to be able to say, look, you're being crazy. You know, I'm not putting up with this. Look, you're making me work too hard for very little in return, for nothing in return. I am not going to do that. Um, that's essentially all that I have to say. You know, I think I've covered it all. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, a like, a subscription, a comment, a share would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to start leaving my PayPal in the either description, or I'm just going to put it on an end screen. If you would also like to donate to me, like the man who shall not be named, feel free. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you have any type of video in particular that you would like to be made, I'm sure I could make it work. Until next time, I'm the chest guy, and I hope you all have a nice day.